Let's face it, realtors always look at the same thing that a buyer and a seller look at, and it's always a little bit different. First topic is sellers. When a realtor looks at a seller's home, they are looking at it without the emotions attached to it. They're looking at it, basically dollar for dollar value, appraisal values, areas, conditions, and the seller is really attaching a total different picture to it. They're attaching, good times, bad times, sad times, happy times to that property. And a lot of times they're using that information, those emotions, to come up with their own price. And sometimes they bump heads with the realtor because the realtor is acting independently, looking at the picture black and white. There is no gray area. So a realtor's eyes are always looking at that home in a total different manner. They're still looking to help the seller get the most they can, but what a realtor needs to understand is that when they're talking to their sellers and explaining the market, those sellers are probably not listening to every single word the realtor is saying. So the realtor really has to understand and kind of slow it down a little bit and be a little patient with those sellers so that they can kind of meet in the middle and the transaction close. So the same principle is also on the reverse side with the buyers. A realtor looks at a property for their buyers as whether they're, could they afford it? Could they, will it appraise? Okay, because buyers, for the most part, the emotions can run in different directions with a buyer. The buyer could, be buying on pure emotions. They might want to live on this block because it's close to where their mom lives right now, and it's a built-in babysitter for their kids. That just throws everything out of whack as far as value. Okay, so they might bid up the price, and a realtor knows that we are, as the price gets bidded up, that they're kind of like thrown out of the appraisal value, and that'll be an issue down the road. It could be on the flip side too. A buyer could be very, very strong negotiator, I should say, and trying to find that deal. And they're being very, in a way, cheap about it. They're throwing those low offers, and they're throwing a lot of offers all over the place and waiting for one of those offers to stick. This is another issue that a realtor has to deal with because they're looking at the home in a total different fashion. They're looking at current condition. Is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? Is there a lot of competition? Can we bid up the price? Can we negotiate the price down? Will it appraise correctly? Will the buyers be able to close in time and have their new home? So the buyers and the agents have the same plan to end up in that home, but they're looking at that home in a total different way. So a true realtor has to understand, first of all, where that buyer is coming from, what's driving them to get that house, and also they might have to pull the reins back or kind of motivate them a little bit to get those deals done. A buyer definitely looks at the end product the same, but in a different way to get there than a realtor does. Okay, so the third topic, how a realtor looks at something through their eyes. We talked about the sellers, we talked about the buyers, but we cannot forget their office, their broker, their managers. And I think that topic sometimes gets overlooked. And a realtor is looking for support always. And it's not always about the greatest amount of commission splits, but they're also looking for training, they're looking for support, and they're looking for understanding. They're looking to their managers and their brokers to understand their problems. They understand what the difficulties they're going through. A lot of times, people say, I don't want to work for a competing broker. Okay, it's pretty silly. I've always thought about that. It's pretty silly as a broker would take leads from their buyers, from their agents, which would be the stupidest thing that I could ever think that a broker would do, and they probably wouldn't last in business that long. But what a competing broker does, and I shouldn't say a competing broker, I'm going to change it to a working broker, or not a competing broker, but somebody who's actually working the industry with the realtor. When a broker or a manager, in a sense, is facing the same issues that a realtor does, they understand the issues that a realtor is looking at. It could be family issues, it could be personal issues, it could be financial issues, it could be certain deals falling apart, it could be issues that are coming up from another realtor, another broker owner. So a realtor is looking at their office for guidance and support, not always the money. The money comes later, but usually what brokers and managers need to understand is that they need to understand, they have to live the day-to-day life of a realtor. And once they do that, once they're seeing what the realtor is seeing within the market, that relationship gets closer and deeper, and it lasts a long time. The realtor stays there for a long time and builds a solid career with them, and both parties are making money.